Salvador, and honestly, man, he wears so many hats. He knows how to do so much with visual, audio. He has like, he's amazing. He's a man of many hats. And thank you so much, Salvador.
Of course.
This shot's for you.
This
Do
shot's for
you want to
Salvador.
take a shot?
I'm good, appreciate it.
He's like, I gotta go to work.
I gotta go back to the Philippines.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So let's get into it, man. So
Question for you.
what's up?
Do you think I need to talk louder?
Salvador, no, you're good.
I'm good?
I control it.
You're good.
Okay.
So, like I said, we were sitting down. We were sitting down in the salon. We were trying to film some type of like podcast content, and you told me, you were like, you know what? Sit down next to me. Why don't you ask me the questions? And I thought about it, and I'm like, man, you know what? Why don't we hit up my man Paul and Salvador? So right now we're at Vogue Creatives, which is pretty lit. But we finally we're sitting down. We got a little podcast going, man. So why don't you introduce yourself? So I know you, but for the people that don't, why don't we go ahead? You can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, my name is Beauty by Ashley Nicole on Instagram. I'm a business owner, motivator in the beauty industry. I always say I eat, sleep, and breathe beauty. I love what I do. I love to motivate and inspire beauty professionals. I have a salon in South Naperville. And I'm just here to build. I'm here to grow. I'm here to grow other beauty professionals. And I love it. I love what I do.
That's great. So how long have you been in the beauty industry?
I've been in the industry for about 14 years.
Dang, 14 years. You look young. I'm not going to ask you your age,
much.
okay? I mean, obviously, I know you, but yeah, you look
I'm
very
45.
young. 14 years. 45? I was going to say like 35. No, I'm just kidding. No, you look way younger than that. Way younger. But so that's crazy. So what inspired you to get into the beauty industry?
You know what? I had somebody in my life who told me to go, and I really didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't want to go to college. I really wasn't a good student at the time.
Really? What kind of student were you?
Not a good one. I was ditching class.
Really?
I was a very poor student in high school.
That's crazy. That's hard to believe now, seeing you. If you guys seen how she is, like, I would not believe that. Like, she's just straight cut. But go ahead. I don't mean
bad student. So I really didn't know what to do. So I went to beauty school.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as I picked up the shears, I just fell in love.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Really? What was it? Like, what was it really that made you like, it was just what the cutting? Because for some people, it's the color. For some people, it's the interaction with, the clients and things like that. What was that for you? What was it?
Honestly, it was as soon as I started cutting my mannequin, I just fell in love. And I've always loved makeup. I didn't really love hair until I started to cut it and to play with it with my doll head. I just was like, this is for me. I always loved people. I always was like a magnet for people, very outgoing, social.
Right.
But realistically, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And thank God I fell into the right path and I never looked back.
I love that. So when you say like you fell into the right path, let me ask you, so when you started to go into that, did you feel like right away? Because I mean, obviously I'm a videographer. I'm not in your field, but I work so closely with so many people in your field. And it's honestly like a different world. Like because I'm so used to like the barbershop. I mean, I wanted to be a barber. For some of you that don't know, I wanted to be a barber. But going into like the like seeing stylists and how you guys are and how like the environment, particularly your environment, I was like, this is amazing. So let me ask, so once you picked that up, how was the environment like? Did you have mentorship? Like, how did that go? How did that come about to like now? Like everything, like how did that make you?
So I went to beauty school and then I got a job with my ex-boyfriend at the time at a really great salon in the city that was like a high-paced, fun salon.
Shout out to them too, because they did my hair a couple of times. But
yeah, they're an amazing salon. But basically, I assisted there. I really wasn't getting like a ton of education or training. It was really like a quantity versus quality in my eyes. How I felt at the time, it was like fast paced, loud music, super super fun environment. But I was like, I need more training.
Right.
And it wasn't working out with the guy. So don't crap where you eat, you guys. Don't date in the workplace.
Right.
So I had to leave there, and I got recommended by one of my teammates, or one of my classmates, I should say, a salon in Naperville that was very high end. And she said, I work here. It's a great place to work. I applied at multiple salons, but they called me first, and I started there. I worked with a mentor. I got assigned a mentor, and I worked 6 days a week with him. And he really built me into a great hair cutter, a great hairdresser, and taught me all the ins and outs of the business. And then from there, I got even more exposure to the business. I saw a lot through the eyes of the owners. You know, I worked for a company that had many locations, 150 employees, and I really got to see through the eyes of the owners, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot.
So I have like two questions. What would you say, how many mentors did you have? That's like my first question. And then like, what was your, like the most favorite, like what was the thing that like really stuck out to you that you learned throughout all those years? But go ahead about the mentors though. How many mentors would you say you had? Because you be telling me about a lot of a lot of life lessons with a lot of like those mentors that you have. Even like to this day, you be cutting and you'd be like, nah, like you know, you're somewhat of a perfectionist, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, really, I've had a mentor for everything. In every different phase of my life. And I think a mentor is somebody who builds you and grows you and shows you what you haven't seen yet, right? They've walked before you and they help you to maybe avoid certain mistakes. They're there to help you grow. And I'm very blessed to say that I've had many mentors in my career that have built me, whether it was technically, whether it was my business development, whether it was leadership. I've had many, many different people, but there are a few that really stand out. And those are the people that I'll be eternally grateful for, because to this day, right? Like years and years, it could be 14 years after the fact, I still think of, okay, my mentor was telling me this. This is why he said that. This is why she said that. So I don't know. To answer your question about what stands out the most, I think there's too much to say. I mean, there's so much. It's so much. And I just feel like it's been such a blessing to have people who want to give and build you. And that's why I like to turn around and pay it forward to others.
That's great. One thing I could say, the reason why I asked that question is because I've had a lot of mentors, and believe it or not, you're somewhat of a mentor to me. You know, they always say you are who you surround yourself with. So one thing that I could say that I realized and that I've learned from all my other mentors, and there's a pattern with all of them. The most successful people, the one thing that I see, number one, that I took from it, that I take from it, even from with you, is consistency. That's like the number one thing that I was like, okay, these people, like, it's not just on one week, off another week. Did you fight a lot or get into it with your mentors a lot? Can you talk about that? Because I know there's probably like a lot of young stylists or people that want to work with you that probably really don't know what it is to have a mentor. They want you to be their mentor. Did you fight a lot with your mentor? Where you know, I know, like you said, you weren't a great student and things like that. Like you described things to me in the past, but would you say you would bump heads with them a lot? How was that like?
Well, that's a funny question because I've always had a very entrepreneurial spirit. So I think anybody who's listening to this who has that, walks their own walk, marches to the beat of their own drum, it can be hard to take direction, but you have to have a discipline when you're training and when you're building, and you have to listen and be open and
be coachable
and understand that people are trying to give to you. And that's such a blessing to hear anybody's feedback. That's a gift. Right. So you have to be open. You can't take things to heart. You have to have thick skin to some extent.
Right.
And everybody around you, if you're in the right environment, you have to know that they're there to build you and to grow you, and it's constructive. So you can't take stuff personal. It's all business and it's all for building.
Right. So one of the things that you say that I really love is when you talk about the culture. So when I first went to your salon, like there's a lot of other salons out there. I've been to other salons. I'm not going to say no names, but I've noticed there's a lot of like in Spanish we call it chisme. There's a lot of chisme. You go in there, he said, she said, whatever. You go to the break room, they're all talking, you know, stuff about the clients, whatever. I go to your place and I'm like, man, this is great. So like the first week, I'm like, man, I'm gonna hear some chisme. Second week, I'm gonna hear some chisme. Third, fourth, but I'm like, man, this place is actually, it's fire. But you always talk about the culture. So what is, can you tell the people like what the culture is and what it is for you? Because you really keep that place like on a good level.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I do. And I take a lot of pride in it because I think it's the most important thing. When I opened my business, I wanted to create an environment that I would love to work at. I want to be the boss that people would love to work for. So I try to hold the standard high, right? And whatever our values are as a business, I try to really hold a tight ship and run a tight ship around it. And realistically, I feel in my culture, I just have been so blessed to have people who have a like-mindedness, who are on the same mission, who have the same vision and the same values. So if you
Right.
work with people who have the same values, who don't want any drama, who just want to build and who want to grow, that's really what my culture is about. And I have specific, rules, regulations, and policies in place to say, hey, this is how we operate. This is what's good with me. This is what isn't. This is what's going to work here. This is what won't.
Right.
And being like really tight about it, one bad apple can rot in the bunch. So I'm not afraid to part ways with people when it's time. I'm not afraid to say goodbye to people when it's time. I'm not afraid to say, hey, I have to protect the company culture. Like, it's the most important thing. So I think that's why my culture is what it is and why you feel that way, because there's somebody kind of guarding it. And I think my entire team cares about it and have really bought into, hey, this is our mission. We're trying to grow together. We're trying to build together. Nothing else really matters here. The client experience is what matters. Everybody contributing as a team matters. And having a positive and uplifting work environment is just the most amazing thing in the world. So we have to protect that.
Yeah, I love that. Protecting the culture. So obviously you are a business owner. You own the salon you're at. And I see, and like I said, it's not my space. Sometimes I don't even feel right talking about it, but I see a lot of the same things, even with like people in my industry, videographers, photographers that complain about, why can't I get paid? Why am I not getting any bookings? Things like that. And I'm like, bro, like you work like 3 hours a week. You don't promote yourself. You're not talking to people. I say that to ask, what was it like? What was your work schedule like? What was it like getting to the point that you're at, that, you know what I mean? The work ethic, the hours, blood, sweat, tears. Can you just describe a little bit of that? Because people think that they just, you know what I mean? They want it quick and they think that it's going to happen quick. Can you just talk a little bit about that?
Sure. I think that's a great topic because I think nowadays people want such instant gratification with the way the world is. And the reality is success is not overnight. And I worked for 10 years, 6 days a week. I really put
6 days a week, y'all. Y'all heard 6 days a week. Some people don't even want to work 4. They're pissed off if they got to work 5. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, the reality is what you put in, you're going to get out. Right. So in a business like this, you have to build. You have to use your legs. You have to put in the legwork, and it takes time. It takes energy. It takes commitment. It takes dedication, and you have to be willing to put in that work. And I think there's a 1% of people who will, and it shows, you know what I mean? Right. And the other 99%, they'll get what they get. You get what you give to everything. And I fully believe that. And I'm grateful that what I've put in, I have gotten out thus far. I love to work, though. I have to say, like, I love what I do, so it makes it very easy.
You could tell, like, you're passionate. You have to be passionate to get to that level, right?
Yes.
I love it.
So like we're enjoying all the time. What is hard about that? I could still work 6 days a week today, and it fuels me to work harder tomorrow. It's just like building the energy up. So being in the right environment, being in the right craft, doing what you love, being passionate about what you do and who you do it with, it goes very far.
Right. So obviously, again, you went through trials and tribulations. What would you want to tell your younger self? You know, if you were to go back and meet 19-year-old Ashley, what would you tell her? And then what advice would you have for upcoming stylists, you know what I mean, that want to hop in the industry, or even a young stylist that's looking at you, like, I want to work at Salon Haven. What advice would you give?
What advice I would give myself would probably be just to protect your energy and protect your environment at all costs. I think at times we let things seep in that are not good for us or our energy or our attention, and they're not contributing to the overall goal. And so that would probably be the best advice I could give myself. And then I would probably still give that to other young people, that it's hey, protect your energy, be mindful, because where focus goes, energy flows. Right, so everything you do, if you're driven, and that's not everybody. We're not meeting not everybody's driven, but those who are, you have to focus. You have to be disciplined. You have to say no to certain things, people, situations, that way you can say yes to the right things.
Right. I remember when I wanted to become like full time. I remember, I was in the clubs. I was working at the restaurant I was working at, and I remember my friends would always come, "Let's go out, let's go out, let's go out." And I'm like, man, I never realized it was okay to say no. As dumb as that sounds, I felt like I needed to go. And when I started focusing, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna lock in. It hurt. I'm not gonna lie, it hurt. You see people Snapchats and you see people screaming in the club. Hey, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Ooh, it hurt, but then it paid off. And a couple of people, what's crazy is that I had an interaction recently with one of my old friends that used to club all the time. And he told me straight up, like, I feel like I wasted my life. And I'm just on my computer, on my laptop, like, damn, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's nuts. So, like, can you go into, because you always talk about the name of your business, Salon Haven. Can you talk about a little bit more about how that came about?
Sure. I just want to comment too on what you just said about like the fear of missing out, or other people are doing this, other people are doing that. It's important to always do what's best for you. Just worry about you, right? Whatever anybody else is doing, if it's right or wrong for them, is really none of our business, none of our concern. I think I've spent, and you've spent, we've talked about this, plenty of time trying to like pull people into what we're doing and join us for this ride.
You try to put them on. We ain't gonna say no names, but like sometimes it hurts when you see the potential in people. They just like, there's so much potential, but it's just dormant, right? And you wanna bring it out of them, and then in the process, you end up, messing yourself up because they don't want it. Some people just don't want it. But yeah, go ahead.
It's just best to focus on yourself. It is. Just put that energy into you. You can't force somebody. You can't make somebody driven. You can't make somebody want to work hard, and you can't give them what you think they deserve. They have to build that themselves.
They have to get it themselves, man.
And, I do believe this fully and wholeheartedly, that somebody will drag you down a lot quicker than you'll pull them up. I do feel that way because I spent a lot of time, energy, blood, sweat, tears on people and in places where I just didn't need to be. I didn't need to give my energy. And then what happened when I turned around and I started investing that time and energy into me and my goals and my dreams? Wow.
That's crazy.
It's night and day. So I love that topic a lot because I think it's a very important topic.
What's the saying? You can
lead a horse to water.
That too. You know what I'm saying? I don't force no water. You know what I'm saying? I drink it. No, I'm just kidding. No, but what I'm trying to say is, you can spend all your time trying to bring someone up with you, and so it will not work for anybody. Like, it won't work for everybody, right? But anyone can bring you down. Anyone. So that is crazy, because that is life changing. When I heard that, I'm like, wow. Anybody, family, friend. I had to cut off. Man, I'll cut off anybody.
Your own blood.
Right. So how did you get into the name Haven? Salon Haven.
Do you like that name?
I do.
Thank you. I do too.
It makes me feel like a haven. When
your haven awaits.
I walk in there, how you doing? You want some great? You know what I mean? Everybody's so nice. It's super clean. It's the environment.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Realistically, I wanted to create an environment that felt like an oasis, a haven, a getaway. When I had my vision, I always had a vision board for my salon as well. But when I created the vision for my salon, I knew I wanted to create something that was amazing for people to escape their busy lives. I had done a study in 2020 when I was opening my business that talked a lot about, by the time it was 2025, there was a higher level of anxiety in people, a higher need for people, for escapism, actually, for people to escape their busy lives, et cetera, et cetera. So when I was really looking into the way I wanted my business to look and feel, I found that name was perfect. I found that, that's what I wanted to create for people, was a haven, and not just for the clients, but also for the staff, right? I wanted it to be a great place to work, an environment for all to enjoy. And I'm grateful to say I feel like I've done that. I feel like everybody there is happy to be there. And it's such a blessing to come in and just feel that type of energy every day.
Right. That's really good. That's really good. So let me ask this. What do you think, if you don't have to answer it if you don't want to, but what are some things you want to do in the future? Are you going to be doing any classes, any education, another Salon Haven? What do you think?
There's so much I want to do, but I really don't want to say it. I just want to show it.
Right.
So a lot is to come, but I'm working tirelessly to get to my next level. And the reality is who you are here and now. If you want to take things to the next level, the things that you did to get you here are not the things that you do to take you to the next level.
Right.
So I'm really committed to my growth. You know, I have my son, I have a team that's, counting on me, and I really have a lot of ambitions, and I feel that you have one life, and if somebody's out there doing it and making that kind of money or owning those types of businesses, I've always believed that I could do the same, and I like to put that into others as well. I like to believe, hey, you can do. I like to tell people that. I think people need that more than ever. So that's it. So I'm not going to say too much, but I'm never going to stop.
No, I love it though, because sometimes it's better not to say anything.
Yeah.
So and I know you obviously work with a lot of, girls at your salon and things like that. Do you offer, and anybody outside of the salon, do you offer any type of like mentorship to anybody, you know what I mean, wondering? Because I'm, like I said, I know I've seen, people come up to you at these classes. Obviously we had the Paul Mitchell situation. If for some of y'all don't know, man, we had a real crazy viral moment at the Paul Mitchell school. But the point is, even after that, even though, people came in guns blazing, people still went up to you. Oh my God, Ashley, I love you. Literally could have been a crazy situation. And I remember Ashley even told me, she's like, should we continue the class? I was like, this class, let's go. But yeah, so are you offering like any type of mentorship for anybody outside of your salon? Is something you would think you would do? Because I feel like you can offer a lot, you know what I mean? Just for anybody wondering.
It's definitely, my schedule is very busy, and I have to really put my energy where it needs to be right now in my business and the people that work for me. I would say I love to build the entire industry. Do I love education? Yes, I value it more than anything. Do I think mentorship's important? Yes, I value it more than anything. I'm happy to mentor anybody who really wants it. But I guess at this moment, I'm really just focused and dialed in on my business and really on myself. Like, I always pump a lot of energy into everyone else, and I'm kind of in a phase right now where I'm just looking at me versus me.
Is it like a self, like, do you ever do that? I do it like every couple of weeks, like a self-evaluation.
I do take inventory quite often I take inventory on everything, right? But the reality is, if I'm not my best self, how can I lead to the best ability? If you can't lead yourself, how can you even lead others? So I'm really just invested in being the best I can possibly be, the most intelligent, the strongest, the fastest, the most hardworking person I can be, best mother, best woman, best wife, best friend, whatever it is. I'm investing all of that energy into me, and I think when you do that, you can inspire others to be better, to be their best self. So that's kind of where I'm at with everything.
That's really good, man.
Thank you.
I love it, man. Like,
Thank
such
you.
a positive person.
Thank
like
you.
I said,
So
guys,
are you.
No, I appreciate it. Why? I mean, it's good because, like, even like the first day we met, even leading up to the way we met was through Instagram, right? Mm-hmm. So you want to tell the story?
I do. I love this story. So I was on Instagram scrolling, and you know what? As far as content creation goes, I had worked with other videographers before. I'd hired people. It was like a one and done. The chemistry wasn't there. The vision didn't really come to life. But I had worked with other people, and I was scrolling the internet, and I see this reel, and I always say that it like slapped me across the face, and I was like, man, who made that? And I see Kane's World TV. I click on him. I send him a DM. I'm like, I want to work with you. Maybe 2 days later, you're in my salon sitting there drinking sangria with me, and the rest is history. We probably talked a lot. We've exchanged a lot of energy since then. That was 2 years ago. We've done a lot of work. Yeah.
It felt like yesterday. Like, it felt like literally like just last night. Like, we just met. Like, that's insane. But, wow.
But we just clicked like birds of a feather, know? Your energy with my energy, your passion with my passion. I just felt like you get it, and I'm so grateful that happened. And that goes to show, like, create the content, you guys, because realistically, had he not made that reel that came up on my Explorer page, we wouldn't even be sitting here right now.
We wouldn't even be sitting here. Salud, you need to
yeah, maybe.
Slide the cup. Thank you so much. No problem. Shout out to Paul, man. He got us with the aqua
panna. Straight from
Is it aqua panna or aqua panna? It's Italian?
Mm-hmm.
Panna?
It's beautiful. Panna.
Panna. In Spanish, panna is like my home. Never had it.
Really?
Like, yeah, for real. But yeah, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, it is crazy. So ever since, it's just the rest is history. Since then, it was just like hit the ground running. Every time I talk to Kane's World TV, it's like motivation, inspiration. What are we gonna do? We laugh a lot. We have a lot of fun
We
at
do
work.
laugh a lot. Too much.
A little too much sometimes, but we get it done. And we hold each other accountable, and that's what I love about our friendship, and that's what I love about being in a circle with people who are on the same wavelength. You know, it's like it's all about the overall vision. And you know what I love about having a friend like you is you're always pumping me up and telling me I can see you on that stage, I could see you there, I could see you doing that, and like holding me accountable. And for that, I just love you. You're the best. You're so hardworking. You create amazing work, like left and right. He's a great networker as well. Let me list all the things I love about this guy. Honestly, he's amazing. But I think you're a great example of what it takes to be successful in a business such as yours. I think you put in all of the time, all of the work. I mean, you're so committed. I think that's so amazing and inspiring. And so somebody like me, I just feed off of that. And it just goes to show like who you surround yourself with, you become. And it's the most important thing, because if you're around 5 people, you are the average of those 5 people. So just being cognizant of that.
Right. I love it, man. I don't know, man. I wasn't always like this, though. I wasn't. If you guys would have seen me, like, probably, like 10 years ago, you would have not recognized me. I had, like, this crazy epiphany one time, and I'm like, man, I can't be doing this. I can't be out here like that. You know what I'm saying? I know sometimes you know, that little, you know, that old side comes out, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But you're like,
I know. No, but it's good though. I mean, everyone's got to be young once. Everybody's got to learn, and that's what I've seen. People need to learn for themselves. Everyone's got their own path. So you needed some of that. Maybe you needed to F up a little bit and make some mistakes so you could learn and grow and be better and be who you are today.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people, like I'm telling you, I went through highs and lows. Like I said, I was working at that restaurant. Shout outs to them. If it wasn't for them, I obviously wouldn't be here, because they pushed me over the edge. But it took a lot of that. Some people get pushed over the edge and they just go to another edge and go. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. But yeah, like I remember like just sleepless nights and like. So when you talk about that reel, a lot of people don't know that it was do or die for me, because a lot of people, especially like Instagram's changed a lot of people's lives. YouTube has too, but like Instagram specifically, I'm watching it, I'm witnessing it. And I remember like I quit my job. I remember I just got into it with my boss. And I was like, you know what, I can't do this. I just went to the Sueños Fest. I'm backstage. I'm meeting all these people. There's all this networking, and it was amazing. I literally was like a foot away from. I don't know if you know who Jay Cortez is. I met Faruco, and Alpha was there. Like, it was nuts. Like, literally like a foot away. Then I go back to my job, and it's just like it just wasn't it. And like I said, so when you seen that reel, I was just posting like a madman. I was like, and like even now I have a lot of friends that they tweet when they're like, in the beginning they were like, how much did you charge for that? What? You did this for this? And they're the same ones asking me, how'd you get your client? How'd you get this? So I'm telling you, it was do or die. Like, it was like I swear to you, like it was just like something from God when I got that message, because I'm like, the out man. So when you sent that, I was like, it was just nuts. It was divine timing, because you're like, boop, I want to work with you. I'm just like, what? It was great. It was great.
You're great.
No, it's nuts, man. But yeah, so go ahead. What were you gonna ask?
I just wanted to ask you, because when I met you, you were like,
ask me what again?
I just want to ask a question about, if you were to tell the listeners what type of sacrifice it takes to get to where you are in this business, right? You're doing, I mean, honestly, I thought I was busy until I met you. You're always booked, you're always busy, you're always on the go, you're always on the run, you're always editing. If he's not with his son, he's editing. If he's not editing, he's shooting. If he's not shooting, he's editing. What does that look like? Like, let's just say it's somebody coming up in your business. I think it's applicable to all businesses, the beauty industry as well. What type of sacrifice does it take? I think people need to hear about that. Like, what comes with this level of success?
So the first thing I'm gonna say is, I can't, what is it called? I I can't like lollygag around it. I gotta tell you that from the jump. In the beginning, when I told my family I wanted to be a full-time videographer, I remember my dad off the rip was like, oh, okay. Like didn't give, you know what I mean? Like no interest, nothing. Like, so that's number one. So family, like I don't have a mom, so I told my grandma, I want to be a videographer. I want to do full-time videography, photography. She looked at me like I was like crazy. She was like, what are you going to do for money? I was like, videography and photography. She's like, okay, but what are you going to do for money though? I was like, I'm going to do videography and photography. And, you know, obviously she wants what's best. It's old school, but like I couldn't listen to it. I couldn't listen to a lot, like a couple other family members too were like, you're really going to do that? That's not sustainable, things like that. But I was like, the difference was, because I hear that a lot too. Everybody wants to pick up a camera or just other things, you know what I mean? But then I heard a saying, and you even said it before too, there's a lot of people that come in this industry, in your industry, and they try it out, they do it, and they're like, nah, and then they go to another thing like realty. Mm-hmm. But what's facts about it is it doesn't matter what you do. If you put 110%, you're gonna strive. If it's like do or die. So I say that to say that I could not listen to family, which is crazy. I had to just go, and they were like, what's your plan B? This is my only plan. I don't care. I'm gonna do it. So I had to lock in, cut off family. And I come from a toxic family background too. And I say that so anybody else dealing with that type of situation can know that it's okay to cut off family. You're not going to be wrong. Sometimes they do it to try to make you feel bad because just, I don't know. I don't know if it's jealousy. I don't know. But cutting off family, and that goes into your circle as well. So family obviously is in your circle. Your friends are in your circle. So all my friends wanted to do was bellaquear. If you know, you know. All I wanted to do was go to clubs, chill, bellaquear. And it wasn't until something crazy in my life happened to me that I realized like all I really am gonna have is myself. And I had a mentor too, like my first real big mentor. And he told me, he's like, what is it that you want to do with your life? Like, and he gave me a scenario, and this is facts. He told me, because like I said, I was working in the restaurant industry. I went to school for many things. I changed my major. I went to college at DuPage. Shout out to them. I wanted to do business management. Then I wanted to do graphic design. I went to graphic design. I had a scholarship when I was younger. Lost it because my family. It's a crazy story. It was a crazy story. But the point is, he told me, you know, do you think like if you were on your deathbed, did you do everything that you wanted to do? And what are you gonna tell your son? And that hit me like a ton of bricks. And I'm like, you know what? Like and that's when it hit me. I was like, if I've been broke with a job, I give no fuck. I don't give two, like, I don't care. So if I'm going to be broke, I want it to be broke because of me. That makes no sense. I'm like, if I'm working, and I was working 60 hours. If I'm working 60 hours at this job and I'm still broke, if I could work 40 for myself or 50 for myself, I'm like, this could be life changing. Let me try it. So then I locked in. I started paying $600 a month. I was still working the 60 hours. Somehow I still made it to the studio, still try to go to the gym, still try to be with my son. And that's why sometimes when I hear some of these stories of these people like, I can't work 4 days a week, you know, but like you just don't want it. It is what it is. Everybody's different though. And so yeah, that happened. And I remember I had my best friend at the time. She didn't understand that like I was making this investment. I have to be at the studio. I'm gonna go learn. I'm gonna go learn how to edit. I'm gonna go learn how to shoot. I want to watch this guy shoot. These are the best guys in the studio. I'm gonna watch them. These are the best editors in the studio. I'm gonna watch them. I'm gonna go to my notes for graphic design. I need to learn this program. So like it was, you know what I mean? It was a lot of that, and I lost a lot of friends. A lot of them. So I just want to say like you are who you surround yourself with, and I felt lonely as hell. But in the process of that. In the end, it's weird because life, God, the universe will filter out people that you don't need, right? If you're really focused on that goal, right? Without looking, like you messaged me. I mean, obviously I was putting out in the universe. I do believe in that too. When you put out things in the universe, it comes back full circle. Mm-hmm. But without looking, you messaged me. And here we are today. And your mindset, like it's just crazy because to even the space, like the hair space, I don't know, you know, the beauty space has been such such amazing. It's been so amazing to me and life changing to me because it's like, but these are like the people in this space are just amazing.
They're the best.
Yeah, they honestly, bro, I love this space.
It's all about this
You know what I'm saying?
It's all about the people.
It really is.
I love it.
You can go anywhere in the world. Sometimes you won't really like it. It's about, if you don't have the right people around. You know what I mean? What's the point of going to Italy? I mean, you could go by yourself and have a good time, but still, you know what I mean? If you're not enjoying it with anybody either, But yeah, I would say that it took that. Honestly, like really who you surround yourself with, your environment.
Right.
Because if I would have had, and my mentor, like I said, too, shout outs to him, I had many mentors from him. I realized, I'm like, damn, this is what it takes. Okay. So I would recommend anybody who wants to get into anything to look up the best in that field, or anybody like that's where you want to be, and man, learn from them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Spend that bread, spend whatever you got to do, like do what you got to do to get to that point. But what about you?
I love what you said. Everything you said was like spot on, and I can relate to that as well. Like when I was opening my business in 2020, all I heard was, "Are you crazy? Are you sure? Is that a good idea?" Right? And everybody else is
high right now.
Yeah.
Do you ever get nervous?
But realistically, like they were pushing. Other people will put their fear on you. Other people will project their insecurities on you and their lack of confidence on you. So you have to ask yourself, do I have the confidence to actually pursue what I want?
Right.
To go all the way with this? And the answer for me was yes. I did it. Thank God. I am sitting here today, still in business 3.5 years later. Thank you, Jesus.
You opened during COVID. That's wild. I don't know what that's crazy. You're still here.
It's such a blessing. And I took a leap of faith, and it's not easy and it's not comfortable, but that's the point. And when you're in your comfort zone, nothing grows there. So get out of it, right? And I was in a very comfortable scenario. I was cutting a check on unemployment. I was rollerblading with my dog.
Would you say that being comfortable really messes you up?
Oh, yeah.
I believe that too.
The worst thing.
You need to be thrown
It's
in the
nice
water.
to feel content and to just chill and all that. And I understand that. You need some self-care. You need some rest. But let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Where we going?
We're going straight to the top.
Facts. No.
Knees to chest. Like, seriously, if you stick where you're at, you'll stay there. That's it. You're not going anywhere else. But when you actually pursue your passion and what you want in life, there's a lot of discomfort. There's a lot of pain and suffering that comes with that. You think people get fit in the gym without a little bit of suffering, hard work, pain? There's a lot that people don't talk about with that. They might want what you have.
Right.
Somebody might tell me, a client in my chair the other day said, "Oh, wow, you're like, you got it all going on pretty much." She said, "You got, your baby, you got this, you got that, you got your salon." What people don't realize, like beneath the surface, all of the pain and the sacrifice that come with that level of success. And I think if you're not willing to suffer a little bit for what you want and see it through and persevere. I was just talking to Sammy the other day about this. She's training for a body competition. She's running the crap out of our bridal business. She's training the people. She's doing this, she's doing that. She's working harder than most people, right? And she's like, man, I'm depleted right now. Like, she's got to counter her calories, her food, everything of that nature. It's not easy to have that level of discipline. A lot comes with that. So really ask yourself, how bad do I want this? And stay focused and keep your eye on the prize, and don't stop and don't look back, because we all do it. Sometimes we get off track. We fall out of bounds. We lose focus of the big picture. I'm really grateful that I'm able to feed my mind every single day to stay on track and be around the right people that keep me on track as well.
I love that. All I gotta say, a couple last things. People think that it's easy to be the boss. People think that the boss just comes, cuts the check. But I'm not even gonna lie to you. Even when I was working at that restaurant, it was very stressful. But to just go over there, work X amount of hours, and walk out, go to the gym, have my life, like not having to worry about anything. Just clock in, clock off, I'm out. Bye. I don't have to worry about, inventory. What's gonna happen? We didn't have a good month. You know what I mean? That is, so yeah.
It's funny how much people think they know about business when they've never ran one. And honestly, I was so ignorant when I was an employee. I was like, so I'll give you a story. The company I worked for, they got a PPP loan, right? And this is during the pandemic, everything shut down, and the government gives them money so they could pay their bills and their expenses when they have nothing coming in. All the employees, myself included, they're like, where's our cut of the money? All talking crap, acting like they're entitled. We've been getting unemployment the whole time, have zero of the expenses.
Rollerblading with your dog.
Rollerblading with my dog, chilling, cutting checks, drinking, having a good time. I thought I was like entitled because everybody thinks that, you know, the commission salon owner is like the devil. They're like, oh, how dare they take 50% of my shit? You know what I mean? And it's like, if only you understood, and maybe if one day you walked in the shoes of somebody, you would understand. Until then, maybe educate yourself a little further.
Man, I feel like commission could really grow you. Like a commission, so like that's where it's at. Like I don't know, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm a videographer, photographer. I'm not even gonna, you know. But that's great. On that note, is there anything else you'd like to end this, you know, this little podcast on?
Honestly, I just love this. I think this is so much fun. And to be able to love what you do and love the people you do it with is such a blessing. So thank you for giving us this amazing space. Thank you to these guys for the production.
Shout out to Vogue Creatives. Y'all are going to see me here more often.
Ow, ow.
If you guys have any questions about bookings, or y'all want to come pop out on here or come over here, use the space. We got the Maybach over here in the back. You know, I wish y'all could see it. We got a basketball hoop over here. It's nice, man. Everybody comes over here. We got a good team. We got Sal right here, looking like a DJ. He's great. He does it. And we got Paul. These two are just amazing when it comes to hospitality and what they do. They're so efficient. They just, they set up everything they will accommodate you as well. They will accommodate you on what type of look, what type of vibe. So you guys definitely got to check out Vogue Creatives. But thank you. Thank you for coming on.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
Or are
say
we
two.
running out?
Say three.
Are we out of time?
We've been out of time like probably 20 minutes ago, but yeah, go ahead. You can say.
Is it okay?
Yeah, we good.
I got to tell you one thing about what you said. I think if only people understood the amount of, like when you talk about hospitality and like service, we are in that space because we're in a people business. And I love that topic. And I just want to point out how great this experience has been, even at this studio. Get out of here. We'll fly. But I've had such a great experience here today. Even working with you, as much as we've become great friends, you always are very professional with me. I feel that you give me a great experience in the way you service me, so to speak, right? Because if I'm your client, the way you consult me and the way you talk to me and the way you do things, it all counts. It's all for something. And I think the other videographers I've worked with in the past, one thing sets you apart, and it's maybe two. The way you listen, you're just like such a good listener, and the way that you put all of your passion and all of your energy into your work. I don't think people realize the amount of work and dedication that you put in, the amount of time to your edits, to your shoots, to everything. I mean, even the way you come out to Naperville, you live in the city, you're driving out 45 minutes to an hour. That is a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of energy. And I think if there was anybody in your business that was looking at you saying, man, I want to do what he's doing, I think it's important that they brace themselves and kind of understand the level of sacrifice, the level of care, the level of service that you put in when you're working with people. And if you really want to create an amazing income and an amazing career for yourself, then how are you going to add that level of value? How are you going to service people in such a way that sets you apart? And I think that's why we can sit here and even talk about any level of success in our businesses, because we have such a high regard for service and for people and communicating with them, listening to them. And we really want to have a good time in what we do. And I'm just having a great time here today. So thank you for setting this up, really.
No problem, man. I appreciate you. Thank you for all your kind words. It's amazing to work with you too. Believe it or not, like, you're in a way, you're kind of like my mentor too. Everything down to the business.
You're
like,
my mentor.
I learned
He's
a lot
my
from
coach.
She's my
He's
coach.
not afraid to tell me either. Like, don't let him fool you. Like, he tells me straight, like very straight. And so do I. We're straight shooters.
Yeah, straight shooters. You have to.
You
have
are a
people
straight
like that,
shooter.
man. I don't.
At Yorktown.
Ain't no yes men around here.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No, but you need people who are honest with you in your circle too. And if you can't be honest with each other and direct with each other, then maybe that's not your people, because the right people are meant to build you and be around you and hold you accountable to what they know you can achieve, you know?
100%.
All right, I know we're going over. Sorry, guys.
But thank you
Sorry.
so much. Yeah, no, thank you so much. But thank you so much for coming on here. It was truly great.
Thank you.
I hope all the watchers, all the listeners, viewers,
All of our viewers.
Took something from today. And thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm excited for more to come with this. And if you need any amount of motivation, inspiration, follow Beauty by Ashley Nicole on Instagram. And follow Kane's World TV for the best content in Chicago.
Thank you. Thank you. We're out.
Ciao.